亲爱的观众朋友，您好，欢迎您收看我们今天的节目，我是主持人丁伟平。我们今天的话题呢是讲如何说一口标准的美国英语。为大家请到的呢是美国的语言治疗导师，也是语言认证的这个治疗师，那么也是舞台剧演员和语言艺术家 Eugene O'Reilly。Hi Eugene, thank you for coming.
Hi Diana, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah, 我们听到他的声音是不是听着很不一样呢？其实呢，我们很多的华人，很多的移民到了美国之后呢，都有一个普遍的困难，就是觉得你的英语讲得不够好。就算你可以流利表达的时候，也发现说你的英语呢，总有一些口音在里面，听起来呢不像美国人讲的那么的流利。那么今天我们请到这位语言大师呢，就是来跟我们讲讲说，怎么样来改善你的英文，让你呢能够说一口流利的英语，因为这个在职场上实在是太重要了。你会发现你在会议当中，在做陈述的时候，在做演讲的时候呢，这个能力可以说是决定了你成败的一个关键啊。所以 So today I mentioned how important this is to immigrants, especially Chinese.
Yes. Many immigrants who come to America learn English at later in life, and I consider later in life being 12 years old. Many schools, middle schools, teach English at that age, and after you speak whatever language it is, your first language, for 12 years, it's very difficult to really learn a second language. Not everybody is fluent, and not everybody pronounces well. And when immigrants come to this country, and very well-educated immigrants, that's who most of my customers are, and they attempt to speak English, a lot of the times they're disappointed because they're not understood by their colleagues or customers.
That's a pity. 刚才Eugene也提到，就是像很多人呢，他们自己在讲英文的时候，自己甚至认为已经说得流利的时候，但是无奈呢，这个听的人反而不能听懂，不能够非常明确的掌握他们的意思啊。在这先为大家来介绍一下Eugene啊。Eugene呢，他其实是在这个纽约出生，那12年在天主教的学校学习。我们也可以看一下他的一些这个 information 啊，他可以说多种的方言。那么他也是国际认证的语言导师、语言康复导师。他有30多年的这个经验，专门呢帮助有语言障碍的人。也有50多年的这个舞台剧的表演经验，所以他也同时也是一个这个舞台剧演员啊。那么他也是获得了语言和听力的学的这个硕士和学士。那么今天呢，我们真的非常荣幸啊，我们其实也在跟Eugene来学习这个怎么样改善我们的英文啊。我觉得我自己英文也不够好 ，so we are so honored to have you. I'm also learning from you. Tell us something about your company.
Yes, Contemporary Speech and Voice Services is located in San Francisco. I serve people who work in corporations who want to improve their pronunciation, either because of an accent or simply because they have a challenged voice quality. Sometimes people have a voice that is not loud enough or that is chronically hoarse or something like that. And I deal with all those things. I help people with both pronunciation of English, specifically if they have mispronunciations of the language or if they are having difficulty being understood, I can help them with those specific sounds. But most of the time I find that if I help them with their intonation and brief vowels duration, that this gets rid of their accent by 50%.
刚才Eugene也提到呢，他的公司呢，其实专门去帮助很多的大公司来做语言的这个技能的一个评估之后呢，再去提高他们的语言技巧。因为语言呢，不只是说你说一口流利的英文，而且呢，还有就是让你的声音更好。So why people have those all kinds of dialect? Where are the dialect come from?
Yeah, the reason that that people have accents is because we have a certain set of sounds in English that a lot of the time those sounds are not in that other language.
Yes.
One of the most common sounds that in English is the sound of I in a word like it, it, or a word like this. This is often pronounced as E. And this goes back to the Latin language where the letter I is always pronounced as E. But in English we have some words are pronounced as I. And this is commonly mispronounced where people will say, this is it, rather than this is it. And so that relaxed vowel of I is a common one that I teach. Another common vowel that I teach is the vowel A, which is often mispronounced as either A or E. So the person might say Bic instead of back. Or they might say bet instead of bat. Okay, so it actually changes the word to mispronounce that sound. And as I said, a lot of the times the reason is because the sound was not in the first language, and the person just simply didn't hear it when they were taking those accelerated language lessons that I mentioned earlier. When people take those courses, crash courses in English in other countries, a lot of the time they're simply learning to count and ask where the bus station is and that sort of thing, but they're never shown how to specifically pronounce correctly.
刚才呢，尤金讲到一个很好的，为什么会有这个口音出来呢？就是在英文里的很多的音调呢，在其他的语言里没有，可能在中文的语言里没有，在这个韩国语言没有，在这个印度语言里没有，所以呢，会造成这些口音会出来啊。So what are the typical dialect you heard about, like Chinese, India, or Korean?
Yeah, you know, one of the most typical, I guess, if you wanted to call it an error, that I hear is that the vowels are just simply too brief. In fact, if someone wanted to imitate a foreign accent in English, all they would have to do is speak mechanically.
Show us.
In other words, right now I am making my vowels shorter. But then if I add a sharpness to it, then I start to get that Chinese accent. And I make the vowel brief. That's the accent. The vowel very brief. But if I go back to making the vowels longer, and I'm being like an orchestra conductor using my hand here, then you have the more American accent. So most of the time, most foreign accents are spoken English with the vowels too brief. Too brief in the amount of time. Yeah, you know, when you say short vowels, a lot of people who learned English, they learn long vowels and short vowels. I'm talking about the amount of time that the vowel lasts, not a and a. You know, those are long and short vowels. Usually a long vowel is you say the name of the letter, E, I, A, and so that's.
就主要是元音啊，他讲到是元音的问题。刚刚举了一个例子很好，就是说我们在讲 eat 这个词的时候，我们的中国人会讲 eat，but actually 呢，英文里是 it. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
Very common.
我们要讲到就是说 this is it. This is it.
Right.
区别呢就在这个小小的细节上面啊。那么 so you're sitting here facing the camera. Can you talk like a news announcer, news reporter?
Well, sure.
Show us a little bit. Yes.
Welcome to Ding Ding TV.
You are watching Ding Ding TV.
On tonight's news.
Yes, tonight's news, and we have Eugene O'Reilly. Yeah, 这就是呢这个区别啊。其实呢，我们在听 Eugene 讲话的时候，会觉得哦，这很好听，像那个音乐一样。So when I listen to you, I feel like you are talking like music, sound like music.
Right.
So what is the secret?
You know, one of the most common things that I see is people saying too many words on one breath. And that is often because they have a lack of melody and they're not putting music into their speaking. Music in English, the melody of English carries the meaning of what we say. Every word that you make longer and musical shows the listener that you have more to say. So for example, if I said, she lives in the red house by the river, if I ended that sentence with the word house, I would say, she lives in the red house. But because we have more information by the river, we have to put music on the word house. She lives in the red house by the river.
She lives in the red house
in the
by
red
the river.
House.
Red house.
And actually the word red, whenever any kind of descriptive word is usually going to get intonation. Any kind of adjective or adverb, words that describe will always get intonation. So for example, in that sentence, she lives in the red house by the river. So if the sentence was only she lives, then it would sound like this, she lives. But when you have in the red house, you may have to make the word lives go up musically. She lives in the red house by the river. So an accented person might say, she lives in a red house by the river. And that And the American ear wants to hear that music because what it does, it indicates that the sentence is not finished yet. That's the purpose of intonation. It indicates to the person listening that more is coming. So, for example, if you had a list of things, you have commas. A common place for intonation to happen is right before a comma in the written word. So if you're saying, I'm going to the store to buy eggs, milk, cheese, bread, and fish, the last item would go down in intonation and be brief. So the intonation really carries the meaning of what's being said when you speak English.
That's why the accent sometimes difficult to understand. Yeah.
That is the main reason that accents are difficult to understand is because not only does the music happen on those categories, those parts of speech, but pausing happens as well. So all of this is designed to help the listener. You know, if you write something, it's very nice to have bold headings, paragraph separations, and it makes it easy to read when you have graphs and figures and indentations and periods and commas. But if something's written in all capital letters, it's very difficult to read.
Yes, yes.
This is the same thing as someone speaking without music, the music of the language.
Yeah, exactly. It's same with the Chinese language. 其实Eugene讲到这个，我们在讲到中文的时候非常容易理解，就是你一个人讲话的时候，我们讲到的是抑扬顿挫，你的语音语调呢是抑扬顿挫。如果你试图在一口气讲太多话的时候，人家很难就是马上听得下去。那么或者说呢，你在讲话的时候没有这个停顿，也没有重音，也没有这个抑扬顿挫，像音乐一样的语调的时候呢，那别人听起来的就不是那么容易的这个理解啊。但是我觉得声音也很重要。So, but I think the quality of the voice is also important, right?
Absolutely. A great voice quality, your natural voice pitch is something that I do teach to people. I teach them how to.
You're born to have this voice, or you can practice to have.
I've been developing this over time, and everyone can, you know, who can pay attention, can learn to find their natural pitch. You know, I could show you a very simple exercise right now. If you say the second note of is your natural pitch.
Yes.
So if you went you could just go 1, 2. So right now you can hear my natural pitch coming out. That is a beginning point for using good voice. If your voice is in its natural pitch, and here's another thing that I want to mention about voice is that how much you open your mouth when you speak makes a big difference on how clear your voice is going to be and how well you're going to be understood. The other side of that is how well you form speech sounds. So for example, if I say ooh, I have to pucker my lips, ooh. But if I say ah, I have to open my mouth, but I can't say ooh with my mouth open. I'll end up saying You can't do it. So every shape of the mouth has a particular sound that goes with it. Every sound has a shape of the mouth.
口型 that's the shape of the mouth. 就是一个人的口型，你在讲话的时候呢，你的口型做到了，你的声音呢就会发得比较清楚。那么你的口型，他说你不只是要把嘴张大，而且是要把口型做对。其实这个我觉得跟说中文一样的，你说中文是不是清楚？像我今天跟他一起坐在一起讲话呢，就试图要把我讲的话说得更清楚一点啊，口型做到。Yes, go ahead.
And opening the mouth makes a big difference both in voice and pronunciation. Because if I'm very strict, you see right now I'm not moving my jaw. Listen to how much my voice changes.
I still can't understand.
My voice changes a lot if I don't move my jaw. But as soon as I start to move my jaw down, and form I get a better sounding voice, and my speech is clearer.
Yeah.
A lot of people think, oh, if I open up my mouth a lot, I'm not going to be able to move my tongue, but the opposite is true. The more that you lower your jaw as you speak, your voice and your speech is going to be clearer.
So how do you teach people, help them to improve what do you do when you teach people and helping them?
If I go on site to a company, I usually meet with a group of people. I like to keep the classes small, 4 or 5 to a group, and I'll do a speech analysis first. It takes about maybe 5 minutes per person. I do an interview just like you're doing with me, and then I have them read a passage. It's called the Rainbow Passage. It has all the sounds of English in it, and I listen to their voice quality. I listen to their pronunciation, how fast they're talking, and then give them a quick analysis of their speech. And oftentimes, as I said, there are some phonemes that are said incorrectly. A lot of times they're vowels that are said incorrectly. A common problem for people who speak Mandarin is the sound of L or N or R and mixing those up. It's called transposing phonemes. So that, you know, the main problem is when words are altered by a mispronunciation. And if you're a nurse or an engineer or somebody who's in a technical field that requires specific pronunciation of words that may be critical to maybe a medicine name or the name of a part.
Have to be correct.
You have to be correct in the pronunciation so that you're safe and also being understood.
So after the analyze, what do you do to them?
After we analyze the speech, then we usually give that person specific homework to do in relation to the materials that we have. And as I said, I don't really concentrate on teaching sounds per se. That can come over time. What I find more important is to have the person be intelligible, meaning be understood right away. And I'll tell you that opening the mouth more and making vowels last longer takes away 50% of an accent. So right there, I start teaching that immediately. The second thing I teach is how to highlight text based on those parts of speech I mentioned earlier. And I found out 5 categories, 5 parts of speech where intonation happens. It's before prepositions. So for example, you're sitting in a chair.
Yes.
So, you know, without the intonation would be, you're sitting in a chair. You can say that, and you could probably get away with it, but you're going to get through to more people if you include the music of the language. And it's much easier to learn than trying to change specific sounds. Okay, much easier to learn how to do intonation correctly, because I've been amazed by teaching people these categories: before prepositions, before conjunctions, adjectives. It's 5 categories. And at first I ask adults who I teach, oh, do you know what a preposition is? They, well, not really. And then when I show them, oh, it's words like in, on, to, with, they recognize it right away. And I find that I've worked with accountants, engineers. I was just working with a fellow from big engineering firm the other day, and we started highlighting text of a presentation he was going to give, and within a few minutes he was highlighting the text himself. These parts of speech are so easy to recognize once you get someone to show you where they are.
That's why we need to learn. Yeah, we are also learning from Eugene, Ding Ding TV, and myself is learning from. I'm glad that you are here, and it's also an opportunity for me to learn. 其实Eugene刚刚讲到他怎么在帮助这些公司啊，还有这些工程师或者要做一些演讲的人啊，各行各业的。那他呢，先会给你做一个你的语言的表达能力的一个就是评估，就是分析。分析之后呢，看你的问题在哪里，然后呢，他再让你呢给一些这个作品让你来读一下。读的时候就会知道，你慢慢会发现规律之后，你自己就会标出来，应该去怎么去说，怎么样去表达这些东西啊。Actually, you mentioned about that. I want to show our audience what's this. This is tell us what is this.
This is a book and DVD kit. It's a guidebook with 8 DVDs. The title is Listen, View, and Imitate, Pronouncing American English. We made this here at Ding Ding TV.
Yes.
And it is divided into the most common word endings. So for example, it begins with the most common word ending, A-B. And it covers the vowels, the most commonly mispronounced sounds of the English language. So I've divided it into single words, so that if the person wants to, is at a level where they need to imitate single words, we have those. Then those same words are in phrases for the person to practice, those single words and phrases. And as we mentioned earlier, I teach people how to highlight text for intonation. The third part of the DVD kit is sentences highlighted for intonation. So it's all done for you in both the CDs, the audio CDs, and the DVDs.
Yeah, this is audio CD, and that is DVD.
Yes, the
and
DVDs we used voice actors. We used professional voice actors who came came to Ding Ding TV to make these sentences on tape. So you see the actor's face as they are saying the sentences in front of the actor, so
Yes.
you can
Easy
read
for you to
what's being
learn.
said. And as I said earlier, I set it up so that all of the DVDs don't have to be covered. Through the speech analysis, I specify
所制作的是专门请到的这个专业的这个语言的导师啊，也是来录的这个DVD。那么你可以看到他们在读的时候的口型，也可以看到呢这个字就在下面，你可以看到，那么这个字呢是怎么读的？有一些呢是经常大家容易犯错的元音。有些是辅音，所以这个 DVD 呢，也就是说，当 Eugene 给你做一个这个就是语言的你的能力鉴定之后呢，它可以告诉你应该从哪边入手，怎么样去运用这个 DVD 来提高你的这个声音，就是标准的讲一口这个流利的英文，另外呢，也让你的声音听起来更好听。这个呢就是一个 CD， 这 CD 呢你可以拿了以后放在你的车里，一边开车的时候一边听，这非常好。So how can people get this DVD and CD?
Yes, they can contact me through my website and give us a call, and we can make the purchase over the phone if they wish. If they want to come to me in person for a lesson, I recommend that.
Good,
I think
good.
they'll really get. I always make sure people get more than they pay for.
So
And
do you have any special offer?
yes, I have a special offer because we just came out with this book last December, so it's still a new publication. I'm promoting it, and if anybody wants to purchase this book, they will receive a free speech analysis. In other words, a complete overview of their pronunciation and the specific needs that I would recommend that they change, and plus a voice makeover. So they would receive this speech analysis and a voice makeover, which would include guidance in how to use the DVD kit and one session, either over the phone or in person.
Wow, that's
to,
really nice.
to
Generous
get,
of
to
you.
get the lesson.
Very good.
To understand
That's
how
very
to use the
generous.
book.
所以这个
Someone could use the book without my help, but it's really recommended that you take a lesson, at least one lesson from me. And by the way, if you come in person, I film the lessons with a camcorder and give you a DVD of the session. So the person who learns from me can get the before and after of the lesson and review the changes and the way to improve at home as much as they want.
That's very good. 所以呢，如果今天有缘看到我们这个节目啊，也知道这些信息呢，可以把屏幕上的Eugene的这个联络方式记下来，然后呢跟他来联系呢，他可以给你做一个免费的语言表达能力的分析，之后来指导你怎么样运用这些。你呢，也许说呢不用天天去上课，你只要有一次分析之后呢，你已经知道你怎么去运用，那么他就会这一套其实 Well, how much is this DVDs and book and everything?
Yes, the DVD kit is $150,
Okay.
and that will cover the cost of the current deal that I'm offering.
Yeah, oh, that's nice.
And I normally charge $100 for an hour and a half session if you come to San Francisco office, and I charge $120 if I visit on site, and that is going to include the materials and items for a group. I don't usually go to individuals unless a company hires me to, which I've done before, see a group of executives who want to improve their presentations or improve their voice quality.
Very good. 所以呢，如果哪个公司啊有兴趣呢，要请到我们这个语言导师来给你在公司做一次培训的话，也可以跟Eugene来联络。那么如果是个人想要提高的话，他给你做一个语言的表达能力分析之后呢，你就可以运用他的这一套 DVD 还有 CD 和这本书呢，自己来练习来学习提高啊。那到这儿呢，时间已经差不多了。我们今天呢为您请到的就是美国的语言导师、语言治疗师，也是舞台剧的演员，那么语言艺术家。Eugene O'Reilly 为大家介绍的是怎么样来让你呢说一口流利的美式英语。我是主持人丁维平，我们到这儿已经差不多了。So thank you for coming, Eugene.
谢谢。